Hello everyone, it's time for us to go and take a look at the iPhone 15 and compare it against the Samsung Galaxy S23 and see which specific phone is a better one for you. Now, I definitely do think both these phones have a lot of capability and they're probably more like competitors than they are different, to be honest. So if you want to pick up some phones I would recommend buying this year, including these two, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there. You can help support the channel at the same time. Now, starting off with the outside of both of them, the Samsung Galaxy S23 that came out earlier this year, 2023, has a pretty good 6.1-inch dynamic AMOLED display. It's a fairly good panel, like it's a very good panel, 1080p, 120Hz, very fast display with that refresh rate, and you're also getting that hole punch display as well, which is really nice. It's a very good panel, there's not a lot to complain about here, and really no matter what I've seen with this specific panel, it's held up very, very well through the test of time like I mentioned before. So, very good display, very good panel, very good everything, not much to complain about. The iPhone 15 is it's the same type of display kind of that was on the 14 Pro. So with this type of panel, you're getting that 6.1-inch Super Retina XDR OLED display. Now there's a few things to keep in mind with this specific panel. One, you are basically getting a little bit of it's a higher resolution display technically than the S23, but you are getting a lower refresh rate, 60 Hz here versus 120 Hz. You're getting that dynamic island, but even then the dynamic island is bigger than the hole punch on the Galaxy S23. So it's kind of a feature on the iPhone 15, but still it's kind of not. And that's something that kind of irks me a little bit. So I definitely look at a device like the iPhone 15 as not as good of a panel as the Galaxy S23, but it's still a good panel nonetheless. And honestly, it doesn't even feel like 60 Hz. It feels like 90 Hz more like it, but still a very smooth display, fast phone. But the S23 is probably a little bit better. In terms of the rest of the body, you're getting volume buttons and everything on the sides. You're getting a reflective material on the Galaxy S23. Both are like kind of like this curved, like flat side. I don't really know how to describe it. The S23 is more curved, but the iPhone 15 is more like curved on the edges. But they're roughly like almost exactly the same size, which is kind of funny. The biggest difference though, or the biggest similarity now, is with the bottom of both these. If you look at it, they both have USB-C ports. Now, the thing I would definitely tell you as of this point, I'm glad that iPhones have USB-C ports, but Samsung does a way better job with USB-C than iPhones. There's so much more capability behind USB-C on an Android, especially with the Samsung. You have things like Samsung DeX, which that in and of itself is an amazing feature. Apple needs to catch up here, and I feel like them putting USB-C is great, but they need to go and add more features. Having the hardware is awesome, but Samsung does the hardware and the software really well with USB-C. So hopefully Samsung or Apple can team up, or maybe Apple can catch up. I don't know how they want to work that specific thing out. On the back, kind of similar feeling phones nowadays, which is very funny. So the S23, you have this like triple camera setup with a complete like flat back. So there's not even a camera protruding. Like on the iPhone 15, you have this camera bump. Dual camera setup on the iPhone 15 as well, which is really nice. Not curved, frosted glass backs on the iPhone 15 and on the Galaxy S23. So it feels very nice. It feels very good in the hand as well. And that's something that's really awesome between both. Wireless charging on the back of both of them. The iPhone 15 has like this MagSafe capability, which is kind of nice. But beyond both, they both feel very good in the hand. I like both of them a lot. And between both, I would definitely say they both hold up very, very well. The iPhone 15 has reverse charging from the USB-C port. Samsung has reverse wireless charging, which I think is 1000% better. But that's kind of how we're working with between them, the outside of both these. IP certification as well. Now, in terms of software and longevity, this is probably going to be a little different. Android here, iOS here, you kind of already know how this goes, but you're probably going to be getting the longer lasting phone from the iPhone 15. Now I say probably because sometimes Samsung can make some changes in the future. Maybe this thing will last an extra 2 years, I don't know. Probably not. As of this point though, with past Samsung phones we've seen, the iPhone 15 by far is definitely going to be the one that's lasting longer. If you look at the last couple of years, I mean, the iPhone XR from 2018 is still supported. The Galaxy S9 from 2018 is not supported anymore. So that's kind of a thing to keep in mind. Definitely with the Galaxy S23, it might not last as long as the iPhone 15. So that kind of covers it up there. Now let's go into a speed comparison between both these devices. The iPhone 15 has that Apple A16 chip inside of it with 6 gigabytes of RAM. The Galaxy S23 has that Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 chipset inside of it with 8 gigabytes of RAM. So let's go and see which one's the faster one between both. Okay, there we go. All the apps are clear in the background. So let's get into it. Phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. So I'm going to take camera, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's go and take a photo. Both are in night mode. Both kind of took the same amount of time, to be honest. Opening up that photo. Oh, that was a different photo, actually. I don't really know what to make of that. Play Store, App Store, 3, 2, 1. Usually the Play Store, like I said before, opens up very fast. I don't know what's going on here. Looks like I didn't even have internet on this one, which is very strange. It's very, very strange. Hopping out of here. Hopping out of there, we can open up some third-party applications that we have on both. So let me get into my Samsung game launcher because I have to open this up every single time. Let's go into Genshin Impact 3, 2, 1. Now, Genshin Impact is a fairly large game. There's a lot of stuff going on between this specific panel, or these specific games. And surprisingly, I think the iPhone 15 Pro looks to be slightly faster here to at least load into the game. The Galaxy S23 a little bit slower, but definitely that was a very interesting difference there. Getting back into Game Launcher, let's see what else we have. So we have Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. Now, Temple Run 2 is not that big or intensive of a game, but still a good one to kind of test. S23 was slightly faster here, so that was a slight difference. I wasn't expecting that. Usually the newer phone, usually it has like not more capability, it's usually faster because it hasn't been used that much. But the S23 looks like it was slightly faster here, which is a really good sign for the S23. Loading up another game. Let's try Snake versus Blocks, 3, 2, 1. And almost the same thing. I think the iPhone 15 was like slightly faster. Getting into this game, sometimes there's random glitches that happen in the beginning with. And so far, they both have been doing pretty good. Hopping out of these two, let's get into another game. Let's try something like Thank You, 3, 2, 1. And the Galaxy S23 was a faster one here, followed by the iPhone 15 a little bit slower. We'll go and test one more game. Let's see what other ones we have. We can do something like Roblox, 3, 2, 1. Now, I've tested all these games. Oh, this one had a bad error, but I've tested all these games separately. And honestly, I don't think there's one phone that's like significantly faster than the other one. I've had great success on all these ones. I definitely do feel like a phone like the Galaxy S23 may have a little bit more power and especially more capability with the ability of installing third-party applications. But I think the iPhone 15 is still a very, very fast phone as well. Now, in terms of the camera side, both of them have very good cameras. The Galaxy S23 wide ultra-wide telephoto lens, the iPhone 15 wide and ultra-wide camera, 4K at 60 on the front and the back of both of them, but you do have 8K capability on the back of the Galaxy S23, which is very nice. Having 8K is really cool, and honestly, I definitely would say that the Samsung side of cameras is probably always better. I don't know what's going on here. The Galaxy S23's camera this year was very good. I don't even think it was that big of a jump from the S22, to be honest, but it was still a very good camera. You have 30x zoom on this phone. You have the standard 0.6x zoom on the outside, and it's still a very good camera. Video mode, portrait video, and you have so many more modes within this specific phone's camera on the Galaxy S23 over the iPhone 15s. I still feel like the Galaxy S23's camera is overall better than the iPhone 15s, and I felt like that probably since the S22. So actually since like the Galaxy S10, I feel like Samsung cameras have always been better, but that doesn't mean the whole entire phone is better. The iPhone 15's camera is still very good for what you're getting. I feel like it's a very solid lens. You're still getting 0.5x zoom, so you're getting actually more zooming out capability. You are getting 10x zoom, which is a jump from last year, but it's still 3 times less than the Galaxy S23. Are you going to be needing to zoom in that much? Probably not, but it's still a very nice to have feature, and that's just something that kind of stands out to me sometimes. Cinematic mode, time-lapse, lots and lots of cool features here. But I will probably tell you when it kind of comes down to it, I definitely like a phone like the iPhone 15. I feel like this is a very solid phone, and it has a lot of capability, but I don't know if it stands out in any way coming from the Galaxy S23, to be honest. I feel like the iPhone 15's display and everything, the phone itself is very nice, but I look at the Galaxy S23 as more of a flagship. Whatever the iPhone 15 does, this one kind of does a little bit better. I feel like this one has a better display, better camera, better battery life is probably on the iPhone 15, better use of that USB-C port, reverse wireless charging. You have a lot of capability on the S23, and I feel like this is still more of a flagship than the iPhone 15, but I think the iPhone 15 is probably going to be the more popular one. More people are probably going to buy this one than this one, but that's kind of how I see both these phones. If you have any other thoughts or questions, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.